Hello, and thank you for choosing the gallery clamp. This is the video manual transcript with instructions, and it's been provided by AE LLC or Aegean Enterprises LLC. Again, this is the gallery clamp, made in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, veteran owned and made and assembled in the United States of America. The gallery clamp is typically used for a fine frame, something that you see here. This requires something which is nice and strong, which the gallery clamp is, and also notice that there's a thickness associated with this frame such that you can decide what length fastener to use along with the gallery clamp. On the back of the frame, this is a hard wood frame, we're going to position the gallery clamp in three different positions. Two, which are the primary, and then the alternative, which makes the frame sit flush to the wall, is down in the bottom of the frame. And that way it will sit flush with the wall. So when using the gallery clamp and installing it on your picture frame, make sure you've got a nice surface to work on. And make sure it's a protected surface, not only to protect the surface that you're working on, but also to protect the face of the frame as well. So we're going to take the frame and put it face down on the padded tabletop, so that way again the face of the frame is protected and it doesn't mar the surface of the table. The gallery clamp is made of a clear polycarbonate material, and it's got innovative, novel design such that it accommodates the pinching of a braided picture wire. The reason why it's clear is so that it can pick up the color of the substrate. While we're on the back of this frame, that's not so important. But if it were black, or if it were red, or if it were blue, that might take away from some other type of use of the gallery clamp, such that you wouldn't want the color to distract from the substrate. So it picks up the substrate. It also affords an easy length adjustment of the clamped braided wire, and also features prongs on the bottom of the gallery clamp. And these prongs resist the rotation of the whole assembly when you're actually tightening it down to the frame or other substrate. Of course, we have some warnings or precautions. A generic warning. Here we've got keep out of the reach of children. Here we've got choking and asphyxia hazard. Here we've got eye hazard, so wear eye protection. It's a puncture or pinch hazard. Similar here, again, there's a pinch point associated with this. And last but not least, do not ingest. Those are the specific warnings, hazards, etc. And anything else that you can think of associated with warnings or hazards. Warranty and liability. Aegean Enterprises LLC affords no warranty associated with this part, and the only liability that we hold is that it is for the replacement of the gallery clamp itself, should the gallery clamp itself fail. There are two gallery clamp assembly sizes. One is the gallery clamp number 10, and then the other one is the gallery clamp number 25. The number 10 is for use with number 6, 8, or 10 sheet metal screws, even though you're going into wood. And then the gallery clamp number 25 is used for a 1/4 inch lag bolt. There's the 1/4 inch lag bolt, and here's a number 6 sheet metal screw. The assembly itself is comprised of two parts that you'll find in the bag. The first part is the base itself. The second part is a beveled washer that fits into the base. This is the gallery clamp assembly that you purchase at your local store. The assembly is for use with a braided picture wire. Here's a 10-pound braided picture wire, 1/16 inch diameter, and it's also used with fasteners as I've just described. Depending on which size gallery clamp you use will depend on which tools you use. For the pilot holes, you'll need a drill. For the larger gallery clamp number 25, you'll either use a open-ended crescent wrench or a socket wrench set. For the number 6, 8, and 10 sheet metal screws, you'll need a Phillips screwdriver. And in either case, you'll need maybe 2 needle nose pliers and regular pliers just to tie the knot in the braided wire. There are two main instructional configurations that we recommend. The first is the use of one gallery clamp with the one braided picture wire. The braided picture wire loops through the base. You've already tied a knot on either end, and then the fastener fits into the beveled washer, which then fits into the base, which then all gets screwed in with the one fastener into the substrate, pinching the braided picture wire into the base and securing it. The second configuration is the same as the first, however you've got two of them, and then you string the braided picture wire between the two. Make sure that you turn the degree of the base such that the braided picture wire actually rests into the divider rather than pulling out of the assembly. So these are the two main assembly configurations. So here we go with the installation instructions. Mark locations for the pilot holes on the back of the frame by measuring. Again, don't forget about the thickness. You have to have selected the proper length sheet metal screw such that you don't poke out the front of the frame. So then you mark the different locations of the pilot holes. Here I have 3 locations because I'm going to use the 3 clamp assembly such the frame will sit flat against the wall when installed or displayed on the wall. So we marked the pilot holes. Next, I'd like you to actually take a look at, depending on the size of your fastener and the softness or hardness of the wood, the size of the pilot holes can vary. So I've set up a table such that you can see the recommended size of the pilot holes for the different size fasteners and different size woods. If you have any considerations, worries, start small. You can always go larger. You've cut the braided picture wire to length for the different identified positions of the pilot holes. You've created a U shape here and tied a knot in the end. Tying the knot in the end might be a little difficult if you use a thicker braided wire like this one. This is a 50-pound braided wire. So you can use the 2 needle nose pliers or the pliers and needle nose to pull it nice and tight. So next we're going to set the base and the plunger with the fastener where we plan on actually installing the cable clamp. You won't have the braided picture wire in here first, you'll just have the clamp and the clamp assembly. Again, align the slot for the braided wire coming up. This also has the prongs in the base sink into the wood just a touch, again, to keep it from rotating. And then repeat this for the very other side that you're going to be installing it. Once you've installed it, you can back off on the fastener. Now we're ready to install the braided picture wire with the U into the gallery clamp. Placing it into the slots and holding it on either side with either finger. We'll then place the fastener in the middle with the beveled washer, making sure it's all aligned correctly, and then tightening. Nice and tight, and we'll repeat it for the other side. And now here we are on the other side. Leaving a little loop to ease the adjustment of the length if necessary, so you can either make this longer or tighten it up tighter to raise or lower the height of the frame. We're going to put it on the wall now, and we're not going to use the 3rd gallery clamp, which is the leveling gallery clamp, so you can see how it actually lies in a traditional sense, like most picture frames, at an angle to the wall. Now we're going to put it on the wall, hanging it with the traditional method. Holds very nicely, but as you can see, there's an angle between the frame and the wall, which is typical in our installations in America. What I'm going to do now is take it back down, put the 3rd gallery clamp in the bottom, which is a leveling clamp, and you'll see how the picture frame will lie parallel to the wall. So now we're going to install the gallery clamp in the 2 positions at the base of the frame. You can use 1. Sometimes the frame will pivot on it, but using 2 will ensure that the frame is pushed out from the wall and as parallel as possible, at least in conjunction with the other two gallery clamps which are holding the braided picture wire. One other detail to mention, you can also cover the fastener so that it doesn't mar the wall with a felt pad, whether it be one of these circles, a strip that you cut, or one of the larger circles, whatever you would prefer to put on the gallery clamp, again to cover the fastener. So that's what we'll do next. You can see I've put the felt pads that have a self-adhesive on the back on the 4 different fasteners, pressed them on, and now we're ready to put it on the wall. So here we are with the 4 felt pads on the fasteners, and we're going to put it on the wall. Very nice. Again, you can see a much better line with the wall. Thank you for watching this video associated with the installation procedures of the gallery clamp, designed by Aegean Enterprises LLC. This has been designed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, made in Wisconsin, made in America, and assembled in America. Thank you very much, and don't hesitate to contact me. Bye-bye.